Down in Atlanta, they were all about criminal justice reform for the fellas way before it became a catchphrase for Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, and President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. So at the bottom of criminal justice reform is this one fact, this one fairy tale, this one piece of the greatest lie of our generation, the hoax of black victimization. The bottom of criminal justice reform, they believe that black people are relentless victims of relentless white racism all the time, everywhere. That explains everything. That's the only reason why so many black people are arrested, tried, convicted, sent to prison, let out of prison, kept in prison too long. When they get out, they go back too soon. And criminal justice reform is going to fix all that by arresting fewer black people. And they don't care if you have to do it by law, which a city council would do, or you do it by fiat, which an increasing number of district attorneys all over the country are doing. St. Louis, Philadelphia, Chicago, Corpus Christi, Oakland, one big chocolate city after another, they have decided that district attorneys are going to arrest, and the cops are going to arrest fewer and fewer black people, because that's not right, because arresting black people for committing a crime causes black people to commit crime. It's kind of a quantum physics thing, you know, when you do something in the present, it will affect what you did in the past. You don't understand it? You're confused by that? Well, if you're confused, that just shows you understand the situation. Anyway, why don't we take a look at what criminal justice reform looks like? Why don't we look at a guy who the police just absolutely refused to put away for committing what they call nonviolent crimes? But I don't agree that these are nonviolent crimes.
Arrested not just once, not twice, not even 3 times. DeMarco Presley has been arrested more than 40 times over the last 18 years. You can see that's enough mugshots to fill an entire wall. Well, now Presley has been arrested again, accused of stealing a car. In fact, records show that many of Presley's arrests were for theft.
And now the district attorney has filed a motion to have him classified as a repeat offender. Do you think? And people who live in the area where the crimes were committed say more needs to be done to keep offenders in jail. Fox 5's Morse Diggs joins us now with more on the story. Morse?
Now, this first came to my attention because the Atlanta police chief brought up the situation. Now, even though Mr. Presley is classified basically as a non-violent offender, one community leader says the type of crimes being committed has an impact on her neighborhood. DeMarco Presley needs to be treated as a serious offender. That is what District Attorney Paul Howard said in a motion earlier this week about the 38-year-old man who has been in and out of jail since the early 2000s. The rap sheet is long, the mugshots numerous enough to fill an album. Police have a problem with this kind of case. Presley is essentially a nonviolent thief.
The courts don't prosecute. They don't prosecute if we get someone out of a stolen car. They don't prosecute if we get someone breaking into a car. You see the graphic on the repeat offenders. It's a very real issue. You've got one person with 45 arrest cycles.
My reaction to that is, how's it working for you? I think what we have to do is look at these repeat offenders and look at the effect that it's having on the morale of the APD, who are consistently catching these same criminals over and over again.
The standout offense on the Presley docket is some kind of car crime. A resident told me the record should not be taken lightly.
Entering auto is certainly a concern. There's a park less than a mile from my house where there have been multiple instances of entering auto while there have been birthday parties and Girl Scout meetings happening in the middle of the day.
Now back to the Howard motion I told you about. In plain language, it states Presley is an extreme repeat offender, and the recidivism law should apply to him when his next time in court comes up on October 9th. Okay, so what does that recidivism mean, repeat offender? That means when a case is resolved, whatever that punishment is given by the judge, that'll be real time. It'll be like in the federal system, you get 5 years, you serve 5 years.
So you got the chief of police going, oh, the courts won't put them away. Don't totally blame the courts. The same people who hired you, Madam Police Chief, down in Atlanta, same people who hired you, they appoint the judges, they appoint the district attorneys who make these decisions. I'm glad you're speaking out. I'm glad that neighbor is speaking out. But in Atlanta, when you can speak out on Monday, but on Tuesday, if you go into the voting booth and continue to vote for the same people who did what you don't like, well, you're just going to keep getting the same thing over and over again, and you're going to be scratching your head going, I wonder why this keeps happening, and nobody's going to walk up to you and see, because you're a big shot, chief of police, nobody's going to walk up to you and say, hey, chief, I figured out what's going on. Yeah, the same people who appointed you are the ones letting all the criminals go and refusing to prosecute them. You get that, chief? You don't want to say that because you know that's going to make the black kids angry?